What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We're in October after a wet end of September. Looks like there is rain on the way again. I hope we can get this cornfield done. And it looks like my driver is just doing whatever they want to do. We should have a truck coming around. He might be hung up over there too, so we might have to go tend to that in a little bit, unfortunately. Thought I had set that up to go around that fence pretty well, but maybe we have to go. Oh, you know what? We have a longer trailer now, which has him looping onto the field. But yeah, so this row's all cleaned up. We'll hopefully be able to jump into 365 and start tearing up some ground and getting our future fields set up. But after we get this corn done too, the other thing we can do is start dropping these trees and send these down to the wood chip production site. Looks like we could be making some good money this winter when the market hits for that to sell. So I'm pretty excited for that. But with that said, I'm going to go try to see what's going on over there with that truck, and I'll be right back. All right, so I think we got them sorted. We had removed some fencing. We'll have to go back and tighten that up. But I think right here, we want to start here. Do we want to go down there and kind of, I think we should start down there. Kind of till up what we can without getting a plow in there, kind of see how that goes. I'm fully not sure how it'll go. I hope it'll go well. Trying to remember if we even have crate fields option with tillage on here, to be honest with you. So just kind of drop it in here. We may actually have to go buy a plow now that I think about it. But we got David up here helping us. We've been helping him with a lot of stuff, so we can afford a little bit there. And I'm going to say it is going to let us till. All right. So that's a good sign. Kind of see how it molds a lot of this in. That is a good sign there. I was going to mulch a lot of this last time, and I just decided no. We'll leave round corners to hopefully keep everything flowing with the balers and the mowers on this meadow. Not going to get a lot of power out of this up the hill, I don't think. But no, we'll have most of this into a nice field, which will be, it'll be nice. Be a good sized meadow. Our outer meadow is ready. Might hold off till mid-October. In October we'll see, because it's supposed to rain later on today, even though here's the sun shining down on us. Ideally, though, the goal is to get that cornfield done. That's priority number one. Getting this tilled up and seeded with new grass. And I think we're just gonna, this was all like a mixture of field meadow up here, so I think what I'm gonna do is till all this in as well. And we should be in good shape from there. Like I said, we'll till all this up, get a fresh seed bed in, get everything on the same rotation. Probably gonna want to take that big tree down. Thought I had already cleaned those up when we had the mulcher. We'll have 2 entry points to this field, which would be nice. We don't have to technically drive all the way around, but if we had to go out that way, we can now. Like I said, I'm gonna just round off everything. Pleasant View might not be happy with that. He's a square field kind of guy. But being it's a meadow, we'll round it. A little overgrowth on the corners, that's fine. Not like one of our grain fields. But it'll be nice to kind of see everything shape up, especially going into what'll be year 3 for us, technically. I took a little more off the corner here, So we shouldn't get jammed up in that tree line anymore. We'll leave a little bit of room. I noticed down in this little, I guess it was kind of like a ravine, holds a lot of fog. Kind of cool though, especially when the deer are out in it. Let me know if you got a place like this back home on the farm that kind of puts off this eerily spooky vibe in a way. I say spooky because we're getting close to the Halloween, but that's what comes to mind. All right. Well, there we go. We'll jump right into this section now. I'm hoping everything goes all right. Now, when that truck goes to dump, that's the only thing I'm worried about, because our drive over set up a new course, but I gotta be honest, I don't know if it's gonna work out correctly with that bin. Eventually we'll have a drive-through bin system, but that's down the road, because our next goal, I think, is gonna be a better planter. Now that we're getting a lot of acreage, larger fields, I think we can up the planter size. You guys let me know down in the comments if you think that's the method we should stay with as well, or the focal point we should go with. It's getting a new large planter. It'd be nice to have something that's, 12 to 18 meters possibly. I think that'd be a pretty solid pickup. I think 12 would kind of be the sweet spot, as long as it folds up. It makes it easier to work with, We'll probably have to get lime down on all this as well. And then I may go over, roll everything, kind of pack it down. Get to kind of see where the fertilizer level's at too. How much nitrogen we'll have to dump into it. Which I don't know. It's grass. And I mean, usually I just would actually put, for being honest, slurry would probably be my go-to on this, but we just don't produce any. Not yet. Maybe one day in the future we'll have a dairy operation added to this, but for now we are building off the beef lot. And we are in the mulch business now, and plywood, which, like I said, those are looking pretty favorable. I'm hoping that unloaded goes away soon. For some reason, our nemesis keeps clipping trees over there. And actually, it is the trees that we're going to be removing. It's like they know. Just reaching out, grabbing the nemesis. So we'll keep trucking away on this, and I'll see y'all shortly. Alright, so it looks like we finally got everything sorted out and hopefully running smoother. Might have to flip how we load the trucks though. And the load point for that. I was looking back at it. Right now we're driving forward to the front one and filling there. I think the trick for that before was bringing the point back to the middle of the loading truck, and that should be fine. We'll see though. But hopefully we can get this knocked out. It did sprinkle. Like maybe even 5 minutes in game, if that. So we got really lucky with that. Gonna allow us to continue to harvest. Not too worried with the corn, but also didn't want to be out here the whole time. The corn was just, getting drenched. And in this game, they still penalize you for that on yield as well. So ultimately, trying to avoid that. We'll have to. The other thing I forgot when I was talking about this field earlier is we'll have to get precision farming set up for this as well. And there he goes. Needs to be unloaded. So it was a full cart went into one hopper from what I could tell, which was good. So we should be able to get 2 full grain carts into each truck. And it should work pretty well, which will also be pretty good for us on beans. I almost wonder if I want to flip this around at the end here and just keep running the inside track and building out of that. Hopefully they're going to unload that soon. Almost done the headlands. I think they're on the second headland out of 3. I think that'll be the plan. We'll flip it around right here. Just kind of run right back down it. We're going to give the unload. Last time it was unloading, just took it a while. Seems our auger on our pipe is taking a while to push it out. We did maintenance on it before we started harvesting, so it should be pretty good shape. I'm gonna just hop in here in the map. And yeah, nothing's moving the way it should be moving. For some reason, it's literally because of this right here. When we put this back on the track, it'll go find the next one. So as I say that, you know, perfectly failed, it was just shy. So that one turned out. So he has done the headlands. My apologies, folks. As you see, we're dropping a swath now too. So that's good. That makes me delighted to see that. Be nice to knock down a lot of those trees between those 2 fields. I mean, that's going to be a huge field. We definitely got to also keep an eye out. I mean, planter comes first, but I think we'll have to keep our eyes out as well for a nice harvest ahead. You know, maybe something bigger for corn or even a second harvester. I mean, it's really not a bad option for us to have a second one. We've seen a few of the older model cases that would probably hold up still. We could probably still run the same size headers on both of them, and that would work as well. The one grain cart would be a little more active, but I think we can get it done. I'm just glad the rain was only 5 minutes in game. Not much damage done. Obviously nothing off the moisture, but it is what it is. Making pretty decent work of this field. I thought it'd be a lot rougher in here, and I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's still a stump or 2 in here, but I'll take it for what it is. Actually, I think I just might have saw one. I don't think it would do too much damage to these, but the disc, for the most part, I'll just pop right over it compared to a shank that might rip into it. That's right, I just thought I saw it. I guess it was just the lighting of the vegetation there. Being interesting if I could look at the field size after. I can't remember if you create a field, if there was still a way to look at this. And we come up here. Yeah, nothing there to really show us. Just kind of have to scope it compared to another field in similar size. Oh, the other good thing about the rain, you know, as long as the field across the road, we can actually mow. And I might just directly sell that hay. We got a fair amount of bales. So we got what, 15 off this one, almost 15 off the other. So I think we can almost sell what we get off that new field. If it's even, you know, up there. I know sometimes it'll say the harvest state is good, and as you all see when you play this, sometimes it's not in that full growth yet. It'll say harvest ready, but still a long way to go. And I'm wondering if we should start tilling up that whole section before we're even ready for that other field to be harvested, just so it's tilled up or ready to go. Because we'll have to put a lime on that as well. Ooh. Missing a little bit here. I'll throw off some planning. I was keeping that tracker in line. Guess I had to overlap a little more than I wanted to there. Should be just where that bar is. Or essentially you could run the tire on it. That might be the safety for us. Oh, the harvest is going to work closer to the road and then work back. So interesting how long that takes. Obviously I'll have to get to a larger section, but I mean, that is the other option too, is we can start baling with the 365 if we had to. I'll probably keep the Nemesis on the grain cart. I mean, it does its job pretty well on that. –80 degrees, October 1st. Getting fairly good weather. Despite all the rain we got in end of September, October seems to be off to a great start. Spinning up the hill here. And oh, I'm not too worried about that. That's grass. I'll patch in. What's this stuff here that I want to make sure we're not really leaving? Kind of interesting that it didn't clean that up though. But yeah, we'll continue to work on this. I'll probably come back when we get pretty far into the corn harvest. See y'all shortly. Alright, so we've moved pretty far into the day. It's the afternoon now, and we're just about done corn. We've got the baler running behind. We'll get some help from David again. So we'll get this combine unloaded shortly and see what we end up with. We got a lot of bales we'll be selling off. So we'll get the stacker after out here and hopefully work those. Now I think I'm going to try to pull up here. See if I can get David unloaded. And he's just gonna go on his way. That made no sense there. We'll have to wait, I guess, until they flag us, which will probably back us up with the baler, of course. It's unfortunate, but he didn't want to go that way. Now, naturally, there he goes. Lights on. Come on. Finish what you gotta do. But overall, I mean, everything's rolling pretty smooth. Like you said, we'll probably... With the weather the way it is, I do kind of want to get our other field limed and seeded before we start taking down those trees. I mean, we got time for the trees. Oh, I thought he was about to say he's full. At that moment, I was like, you wait till then. Guess I'm in the way here. It looks like we're gonna have quite a few bales to sell off, which would be a nice little income. It won't be anything that'll, make us rich, really. I thought David was messing around with me again. Really taking quite a while to pivot. And this is what I was hoping to avoid. They're gonna get jammed up here right at the end with one another. This courseplay can just never figure it out. Well, actually, we might be able to swing around here. I'm hoping maybe this will work out. Be on the outside right by the barnyard, so once this is unloaded, I'll probably bring David back into the yard. The harvester should be putting the spout out. So we'll leave that there. Mucked up tires. Probably gonna need new tires on both versatiles actually by the end of the year here. Close up that header, we'll spray that down after. The baler's done, which is good to see. And we'll drive this around. Probably reopen this up. Give it a quick spray down and everything. I mean, this header worked pretty good. I'll have to see what we actually end up with for yield on this, but I thought we did pretty well. Gonna do that, gonna get right up in there. Let's pull this all up. Bring this back around. Like I said, I don't know what my intentions will be. I kind of want to open that corner just a little bit. I think we can kind of still leave these trees here to protect those bends from weather. Something we'll have to revisit. Park this over our header and walk back over and get everything loaded. I'm actually surprised our workers are not the baler back. That's nice and clean. So I am thinking about a new mod. There's actually two of them that go together by Chisel. Chisel, and I forget the other person's name, so I apologize. It kind of works like a realistic livestock, but with less of a hiccup. I don't know, they're just realistic livestock's nice, but like I've kind of pointed out in the previous episodes, we keep getting the 13, and then they just die off. Like there's something that's killing them off at 13. We have more than 13 in the pen, so it's just a little baffling to me, and would kind of like to figure it out. Guess I probably could have just shoved this back up there and filled into this while it was dumping. Oh well. But as I was saying, there's just something a little wonky going on. The names, somebody else had pointed out the names have been changing too, they noticed. But I went back and kind of looked too and noticed that, yeah, that certain names are changing. Different breeds are crossing over more than what it seemed to be for names as well. Just wasn't adding up. And again, I don't know, if it's a conflict or if there's just, it is a pretty forward powered script mod, kind of controls the roost. So maybe it's conflicting with something else, or maybe the new patch that was at 1.11 that came out is just not working for it either. So I'm actually going to leave. I'm not going to wash the Nemesis just yet. Gotta get the muck off this. Really do need, I think, this winter, now that we kind of have the funds, I think committing to probably upscaling our maintenance on our equipment. Otherwise, it's just not going to last long. Whoop. Hitting the wrong button. Yeah, that's fine for there right now. Like I said, we're going to have to fill that up with lime. Actually, we're going to have to drive right in there to get that lime. I'll get this truck into the silo, kind of see where we're at, see how this one field of corn turned out. Then we'll go to the mini map and see if that kind of aligns. I know we're going to make some decent money in the winter. I just don't know how much we can rely on that too, where the market changes. Like I said, originally my plan is to start trying to double crop. Unfortunately, with this cornfield, and then I plan to extend it. Could be an issue. Go through the gears up here. Turn these on. Shift. Looks like it all shifted again. Still loading though. That'll be just about it. I'm just gonna shut that down. No, we get there. Shut that off. Shut that off. Go take a look. 141,000 liters. Not shabby. Let's go over here. Precision farming. And I would say that is a pretty solid yield map for us. I mean, a lot of 120, a lot of 115, a lot of 125. Really don't know what that random yellow break is in there. Yes, mostly 90. 95, so we're pretty solid. I'm happy with that. Definitely can live with that. So let's run through the woods here. So this is ideally where I would probably... I don't want to take this corner completely out, but I also kind of feel like this doesn't need to be here. We could kind of square up off the edge of that and go right through and create a new field off that. That's my thoughts. Push these bales out. We're definitely not going to get enough to pick up the rest. I'm going to give this a spray down. Just kind of getting everything tidied up a little bit in the yard. And we'll use this to collect bales. But I think first and foremost, we will get the lime spreading going. I'll have to look in the lime spreader to see where we're actually at. Hey, what? The 690 John Deere baler has done pretty well so far for us. I should have reset the count on it again before working the field, but it's all right. $168 is what I think he's saying. We get this tucked away. And we need to go work our new meadow. Well, I'll get this pre-hooked up and maybe somebody will help us out here. But yeah, let me know down in the comment section if we should be using the new animal mod instead of realistic livestock. So what I like is the different type of cattle right there. So I can't remember. Do we have stuff in here? It is line. We don't have a lot in there. But I think what we should do is I'm going to drop our weight off. When we get hooked up to that, we're going to use up what we have. Get that joystick turned on. Latch is always stuck down in that, so that's why it'll do that run. Let's see if we can get everything up here. Love that quick latch, always works like a beaut. And now let's get hooked on to 2 bags. Did I not get the other one? There we go. Alright. Put behind us here, make sure we don't take anything out. A little tight. There we go. I'm gonna try to get this as filled up as we can. Maybe I'll get all 4 bags, probably not though. Here's what, 8,000 this one holds? Yeah, that might be it. That might be it. That works there. So what I actually want to do now is we're going to drop this off right here for now. Try not to run over it. Swing it back around. There we go. Alright. With that said, let's go down our new little road. Probably gotta get one more bag in there, but whoa. Apparently that was slick there. Without that weight on the front end, we're a little wobbly. There he goes again. Wants to over push. It's alright. As we don't take out our lid. Oh. So tires could be a problem. I'm gonna have to take a gander. And that's sliding a lot. Tire wear is 92%. Okay, so we're gonna need new tires on this. Yeah, that's something to keep note of. See if this slides on its own. And put the GPS on. probably throwing it on pretty thick. And actually, before we even get going, what are we doing? What are we doing? What did we say we had to do first and foremost? Otherwise, we're just wasting line. So I'm actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to fire this up. We clearly need the front weight on this. So we're going to go get the front weight for one. And we're also going to grab our soil sampler. Because we didn't think about that. That was an error on my part. Here I am racing around completely spaced on that. So we do need the front weight on here. I'm hoping that's enough line to cover that field. Definitely get more. First and foremost, get the weight, and then we'll back up and we'll collect our soil sampler. Which I might have to move some equipment from there as well, now that I'm thinking about it. I don't think we can get in there. Actually, it's not too bad. Just been leaving the high country in here. This should actually be over at the farmhouse, which we gotta figure out what we're gonna do up here. Kind of clean this area up a little bit. Maybe put some flowers down or something. Jump over this one. Run back up here. And it should work without having to place the move the trailer. You say it was a tight fit last time to get in here. We cannot possibly be any tighter of a fit than this. I might not try to back this in after. We're going to take out any of the lights. Alright, now let's go take some soil samples so we kind of have an idea of what we're doing, and we might have to actually wait on applying lime now because of the soil samples. They go pretty quick. I think went pretty quick. Within like an in-game hour, I think we'll see them, or on the hour point, whatever. But kept forgetting to do this, but we're gonna do it now. And take a sample of B. Unfortunately, the mini-map does not do much. So, I mean, that covered a lot more than what we thought it would. So, essentially, if I come up to the top here, I can cover all of this right here. should only need like 3 samples. Oh yeah, easily. And we'll just go to the corner and that'll be it for this one. Part of me wants to go take some samples on the other field across the road as well. I think for right now we'll get these submitted. We're good there. All right. Hold that up and on our way. Oh, $450. Not bad. We're gonna definitely leave this out. And we're gonna have to redo it all for all this anyway. It'll be interesting to see how much lime we actually need. Completely spaced on that. Hopefully see that toolbar soon again as well. So I'm just gonna be, for the time being, we're gonna throw this right in front of this door. So, and it's already giving us our reading. So that only took like 10 minutes. All right, so pretty sandy. It's probably actually not gonna need much lime. What it will need, though, it's probably gonna need a fair amount of fertilizer. So we'll have to sort that out. We need to get new tires on these tractors. I'm wondering if we can push it through the remainder of fall. When everything's in the shop in the winter, then we can kind of clean up house on that. But yeah. We got really hooked up to that, and trying to get back in where it says first point. So that'll definitely throw some down. Still, you know, we're fine with a high pH on this. Nice and green. Would be nice. Nothing blue, hopefully. And I think that would kind of do the job. But we'll let them kind of work that. Looks like they get it under control. Try not to get myself covered in lime. Gotta get that field ready. Like I said, the goal is we want to get this seeded and ready to go. Now I'm gonna head back. We're gonna start loading some bales, or at least collecting them, and go from there. Also, not gonna try to jump through vehicles as much as we have been. We're gonna try to probably keep it a little simpler. We might have to start bringing side-by-sides around and stuff like that. If the hired hand wants to switch out with us in that situation, I think we'd be fine. But you all let me know down in the comments. I think this adds more to the realistic aspect, right? Not being able to just tab through to different vehicles, hopping in and out, taking vehicles to where you gotta go. I think we gotta add that. You know, if we're trying to make this the most realistic, I think that's something we gotta go with. But let me know down in the comments what you think. Our yard is soft, by the way. All right. There we go. Fire up 365. The beauty is we just drive right through over here if we want to. Maybe we should be starting on the back side. So a lot of these I'm gonna stack just in piles. I think we can get away with just stacking them roughly where they are. I wonder if I should bring these to the field edge again now. So we didn't do headlands, which I think actually worked out better. I think that caused a lot of issues the previous time as well. I think we'll only run the harvester with headlands disabled for leaving straw swath. Probably could be zigzagging back and forth between these two rows, but we'll just go up and down. And actually, with how tight they are, we probably should be zigzagging. But like I said, the goal is to get a lot of those trees knocked out. You know, it's October. I thought I could hook it. Now I'm making a mess of it. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to see how this all... I mean, this is going to be a massive field for us to harvest. That's why ideally I would like to get a larger planter. Kind of, you know, take a little bit of that weight off. But if it takes us a month to plant, it takes us a month to plant. Not ideal with the weather lately, but that's what we have to do. So it looks like we are going to get quite a few. I mean, we're already at 12, we're going to be at 14 right here. And I don't, with the amount of rain we've been kind of seeing, I think we got to run these down. If we can get through here. I have to check the 365's tire wear as well after. Because I have a feeling that is also struggling. Probably what we did last year, just stack these on the side. Felt that was the easiest for us. We'll just start down this way and kind of fill them in. We got any, oh, I thought that was going to be trouble. Still could be trouble as we drive over there. Let's take a little gander here. And alright, so they're still plugging away. Tire wear in here, 78%. Not as bad as I thought it would be. Definitely shows we use the Nemesis for a lot of jobs, being that has the bigger wear and tear. Well, let's keep, no, that's the first stack of 14. I think we're gonna have about 5 stacks here. I remember that we were just on this end and almost done, so we'll be able to swing around. Those beans are looking pretty good over there. Those are eco beans, which is actually something we're gonna have to figure out. The other two fields are standard beans. Try to get in here and catch both of these. Oh, thought I messed that up. Do it again. These two rows ended up interesting. There we go. So we actually managed to, yeah, I'm going to say 5 stacks of 14. These will all go directly down to the livestock or the bales, one of the two. But I know Scott's, they need a lot of these corn stock bales down at the livestock dealership, so we will probably bring them to them. I imagine we'll get a little decent dollar. Take a look at that after we fill up again and kind of see what we might see for a value on it. I'm curious. We'll get 2 more. That'll close out this row. That works out nicely. Yeah, I'm gonna stay with 5. I don't know if it'll be a full 5, but I'm gonna say we're definitely gonna be around 5 stacks. Quite a bit right there. We're definitely getting another 2 stacks. Yeah, we're definitely hitting 5 stacks. The goal here is not to duff this like we almost just did. So this is not helping the equipment by trying to push this way. Not encouraged. Didn't mean to hit the mic there. Up. Gotta be really careful. Those drop quite a bit, by the way, when they come off that hook. What did I say I was gonna look at when we're over here? First off, let's see where they're at. So they've done the inside. They're now probably going into the headlands. So that's nice. We wanted to see corn stock bales, $41 are on the rise. We'll go for 49. It's telling me we have 600,000 liters worth, so $30,000. That says sell everything, but we know where the best price is. It's down by Scott's Livestock Dealership and hay bales. It's the only thing unfortunate with sell everything. It seems to give a better price, and I don't like that. So we might have to go in and modify that back a little bit. I want this to feel realistic, and I want, you know, the prices to be tough, but I also, oh man, I messed that up. I want to make sure, you know, we're in the good on some things. Like, we're not, you know, just making crazy money. That's why I'm a little not upset with the mulch, because it's not like we're going to be logging all the time. But I would say it's a pretty good turnaround for what a skid of mulch goes for. Plywood and stuff I can see being, you know, the higher price stuff. I was also not expecting that production site to make it as fast as it has. It's kind of been the other take I have on it. It's pretty dry, by the way. I'm noticing a lot of dust kick up. So we're not even to that corner yet. I missed it again. Usually you can come in and side hook these and it works pretty well. There we go. But I think I'll keep plugging away. Hopefully the lime spreader's not far off. And probably come back next episode, which will probably be later in October. So I don't think we're going to get to seeding. But I definitely want to hopefully get these bales sold too. So thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. Again, let me know what you guys think we should do for the livestock portion of this game, because like I said, it seems like something's a little off. But until next time, Farmer Taz out.